for people to join. We're going live. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello everybody, meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. We do have some wild weather working its way through the northern plains. A snow squall warning has been issued. We have closed Interstate 29 up north, and we'll cover this live with cameras and take a look at what's going on. We're going to get right to the radar right now. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for your trust in your weather information here at Hutch's Weather. Now, I've sent out a few notifications throughout the day via the weather app, so if you don't have it, make sure you download my weather app. It's letting you know ahead of time before the snow approaches. Here's a look at the snow squall moving through Crookston and Grand Forks right now. A snow squall warning. First of all, what is it? A brief period of near blizzard whiteout conditions caused by a sharp edge of gusty wind along a cold front. So think of it as a line of thunderstorms in the summer that has a very sharp, heavy rain or hail associated with it. This is the winter version of that. That's what a snow squall warning is. What does it mean? It means don't try driving through these areas, number one. Number two, you could run into zero visibility along that squall as we go through. And to show you some of the actual real-time conditions that are going on right now, we're going to take you to the North Dakota Roads Report. You can see this on my app, and you can see this on my website, hutchesweather.com, anytime. Here's a look at the closed interstate. It's the red one that you see right there. That's Interstate 29 from Grand Forks to the Canadian border. Now, the red counties, by the way, no travel advised, Walsh County all the way up into that Cavalier area up there. And here's a look at the DOT cameras showing the system move through. But the snow squall is making its way right now through Grand Forks. So let's get into Grand Forks and see what this snow squall looks like on a couple of the cameras we have there. Reduced visibility has, well, maybe improved a bit at that particular camera location on the far north side of town. This is what it looks like, and we'll get to that Minnesota view. Check it out. Blinding conditions at times with this snow squall making its way through as the gusty winds are punching their way through the northern Red River Valley right now. So, well, once again, Interstate 29 closed from Grand Forks to the Canadian border. Now, let's take a look at what's going on the Minnesota side of the river. We do not have closed roads at last check, but this is a changing environment that we have out there right now. So you'll want to have the latest information before you travel. And again, the app or my website is a great place to do that. I'm going to do my best to let you know that, number one, I'm covering what's going on. Hi, Kim and Carol. Good to see you, and you're welcome for sharing. If you do have questions, drop them here. Here's the snow squall warning that's in place. Let's go ahead and look right now at that Fisher camera in that area just outside of East Grand Forks. Snow is falling from the sky. So you see the flakes go in there. It's not just the blowing snow, but a band of heavy snow briefly making its way across the Highway 2 corridor there as we look just off of out of East Grand Forks. So you can see within the tree breaks here that there are some areas where the visibility is just junk out there. Roads getting covered with some snow out there. And again, very icy conditions with a number of crashes reported today. As we take a look up a little bit farther to the north outside of the snow squall, look at what's laid down, a solid layer of ice. And here we go. That fluffy snow that we talked about yesterday causing a layer of ice to be coated on the road surface, and then we get vehicles traveling over the snow that's drifting. It compresses that snow right onto the road surface, melts it, and then it refreezes right into a solid layer of ice. So that's what it looks like right now. This is the Highway 11 corridor at the Donaldson area going way up north in Kitson County. This road surface a little bit better, so some of the blowing snow not as impactful right there moving through. So snow squall warning from Crookston and Fisher all the way to Fertile as we take a look. So we're going to go ahead and look at that camera that is in that Beltrami area and Fertile area as we head into the afternoon hours here. Drive time could be a little bit sticky. So let's go ahead and take a look at that one. And here we go. Let's go down here. So as this blast of wind and snow works its way south, you can see it has not quite made it here. You are in the warning here in the Beltrami and Fertile areas. You can start to see some snowflakes beginning right there on Highway 9, making their way into parts of western Polk County right now. But as far as that visibility goes for you, it's a little bit better than your neighbors up to the north and off to the west near the Fisher area. Now, in the Climax area, we can turn on some snowplow cameras and a couple of ways for us to really see what's going on that our DOT crews are suffering through right now and really working very hard to try to keep roads open and in travelable and passable condition. Here is a look at the Highway 71 corridor. This is Minnesota 220 as we take a look at this snowplow. And indeed, look at the reduced visibility. You can see that vehicle right there that might be the better part of 100 feet in front of the plow, but beyond that, you can't see. So visibility down to under 1/4 of a mile, which would be blizzard conditions if it lasted for more than 3 hours, but we don't have that right now. So again, as we look right into Fisher, we have a plow making its way through there. You can see the ice coated on the road, and you cannot see more than a few feet in front of the plow before that whiteout condition starts there. So really, these snowplow cameras give us this opportunity to jump in the plow with the drivers that are really putting it all on the line to keep the ice and snow off of the road surface out there. This is a look at the today on US 75. This was at 2:10, so just a little bit ago, as the plow driver made their way through that neck of the woods. Now, going up out to the east a little bit, this is in and around the Thief River Falls area. We do have that what looks like lofted clouds out there. Just had the snow squall here, says Renee. Thank you for checking in. That was in Crookston, and we just saw the cameras in your area just off to the west near Fisher. So that snow squall is ending, as the way it sounds by you, and as indeed the case on the radar as well. We're seeing that snow squall has passed through the area. Now, what about Manitoba? So for those of you who are wondering, with the interstate closed, what's going on 75 up north? It too has red. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, but it does look like that is indeed closed as well. So as we go ahead and take a look, yeah, red means a closed roadway, and that includes the 75 corridor, which is the I-29. So it's not only close to the Canadian border, it's closed all the way to Winnipeg, folks. And then we've got also other highways and interstates here that are closed, or roadways. Highway 59 closed. Here is a picture of what things are looking like in southern Manitoba. Wind picking up and lofting puffy, powdery snow across the surface out there. The yellow, by the way, is partially covered road surfaces being reported there. Getting all the way up into Winnipeg on 75, the road is closed, but indeed we do see that there's still some of that windy look to the atmosphere there. All the way back into parts of southern Manitoba. Now, that is also closed all the way on the east side of town here as we take a look at Canada 1. And look at this. There is definitely some blowing and drifting snow up there. So certainly we've seen worse conditions than what you're seeing on some of these cameras, but a brief snow squall is making its way out of Crookston, moving south. Out of Grand Forks right now, and in fact the southern part of town looks like that is still making its way through. As we take you to the most recent radar, let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. So I'll pull that up on the screen, and what you're going to see, this is the latest radar scan. The white area that you see here is the snow squall. So while Foston over here doesn't, well, it does appear that Foston is into that area off to the east there. So if you're in Erskine and point south is where the main squall is moving right now into Beltrami. So we're getting the radar signal showing us with things on Highway 9, not so good. Fertile, you're on the edge of this system as well. And as we take a peek all the way up to 75 through Crookston, on the south side of Crookston here, as you're going by the sugar beet plant down there, you're going to see that we do have that squall making its way. It's pushing towards Nilsville and Climax right now. Reynolds and Buxton will be seeing this, as well as you folks in the Thompson area. And it's just now still showing that it's over the Grand Forks area, right over the base, right over the I-29 corridor, as that snow squall is moving through. That snow squall warning, if you click on her here, we'll go ahead and update you with how long it's in effect for the next 24 minutes or until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Wind gusts over 40 miles per hour, picking up snow and lofting it, reducing visibility to zero, just a few feet under 1/4 of a mile as that squall is moving to the south and east. It's moving south and southeast at about 20 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour. And let's take a look at some of those gusts that we've experienced right now. So we can track the leading edge of this front as well, the cold front that's working its way through, not only by the snow squall here, but let's look at some of the wind speeds that we're seeing presented to us. Now for that, we're going to take a look at those gusts right now on the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. Behind the cold front, we have very gusty winds to 40 miles per hour western Roseau County. As you get out towards Greenbush and Badger, we're seeing 40 mile per hour gusts. Maybe in the Thief River Falls area, 40 mile per hour gusts. Here's the leading edge of that system, and gusts right now. Look at this, northern parts of Barnes County right now, north of Lake the lake up here, 46-mile-per-hour gusts showing up there. And we have right now in the Breckenridge-Wahpeton area, 42-mile-per-hour gusts. So those are your gusts right now. Here's a look at the peak gusts that we have experienced today. Are you kidding me? How about near 60 miles per hour as you look out there in that new Rockford area, get down here into Carrington, 41 miles per hour, over 50-mile-per-hour gusts in northern parts of the Stutsman County area today. And then the reason why we're not getting snow squalls along this gust front that's moving through is the melting that's been going on, melting that snow into a heavy, wet cement as we see it working its way into and through the region. So now a look at the temperature change in the area, and you can see that in northern parts of central North Dakota near Botno, Rolla, up there in the Belcourt area, 30 degrees colder than yesterday at this time as that cold air is punishingly pushing its way down to the south. We're not going to see a lot in the way of what's going on with regards to snowfall in the area as far as how much we get, but we certainly are going to see the impacts of this system working its way through. Let me see if I have any questions at all, and I'll put this up on the other radar scan here so we can I can view the screen with your questions. Thank you so much, Jessica Evans, and if you haven't done so yet, please, on my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out. And if you go ahead and like the information you're seeing, if you do like it, hit the like button or the heart, give it a heart, and it'll get shared out to more folks. So thank you very much. Jessica says, is this going to go to the northern area of the FM region today? Here's the thing. As this gust front is pushing through areas where temperatures have been closer to freezing, we still have some snow that can be lofted. So the blowing snow, well, we'll see a little bit of that. But this is a band of snow that is along a cold front. And that means it could theoretically continue to produce snow as it works its way to the south. To do that, let's take a look and answer your question with the visible satellite view right now. So as we take a look at this system working its way through, here's the cold front sagging its way southward. Here is that squall. See it right there? You can follow it right down, and it's now moving through Grand Forks. So that is a snow squall. It started up here as a gust of wind. It moved through Walsh County and the Grafton area, and now pushing into Grand Forks, and it will continue to push its way southward. Notice this though. Do you see this kind of curved shape to the cold front out here? That's what's going on. The strongest of the winds are bursting right down the low terrain of the Red River Valley. You can actually track this on the visible satellite imagery right here, along with the radar returns now that it's close to the radar. Could it make its way down to the FM area? Here we are in the FM area. Now, as we know that this is a healthy distance and a lot can change between now and there, and here and there, but there is the possibility as this cold front works its way southward that we could see it make its way into Fargo. It could make its way onto the Highway 200 corridor for you folks in Griggs County, Steele County, Trail County. And in fact, Trail County, you're right on the leading edge of this system, as is Polk County right now. So that's where the most intense snow is. Pretty interesting. And thank you for your question, Jessica, that we can track it on the visible satellite as well. Can it make its way to the Fargo area? The answer is yes, it could, but will it? That remains to be seen. This is a small area of impact, only impacting the Red River Valley right now. Well, Fargo sits in the Red River Valley, so that means we'll have a fair chance at seeing maybe some remnants of this system slip its way through. Not able to see the radar, so I just thought I'd ask. Jessica, thank you. We'll show the radar now back up on the screen right behind me here. Here's your radar. And now, even though you can't see the radar, what we're seeing is this storm system here is a little ways away from us now. And so I take a look at some tools so I can show you just a little bit about where this is heading in the near term as we go ahead and take a look at the distance. And let me see here, adjusting my eye sockets. Okay, so as we take a look at the linear distance from Fargo right now, and if it's moving south, that's moving at a clip of about 25 miles per hour. And that means we're still about 2 hours from this squall making its way to the north side of Fargo, Jessica. So that's what we're going. Warren says, sitting in the pickup on my brake and feeling it rock in Jamestown. So yes, those 50+ mile per hour gusts may be making their way down from northern Stutsman County and into the Jamestown area. Yipes says, Jerry, Warren, mostly sunny skies here yet, but high clouds moving in from the west. So again, this is 2 hours away from us. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some other facts here that we can take a look at with regard to the system. And once again, I will need to load up some measuring devices here. So let me go ahead. It's been a while since Hutch has measured this fun stuff. let's see. Okay, here we go. Sorry about the delay. Just got to reopen up all my windows that I haven't used since the summertime. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and track this squall right now, and I'll tell you when it'll be in your neck of the woods. So here she sits right now. The leading edge of the snow squall is right here. It's moving down to the south at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Behind it, 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts. So in these areas that you see highlighted in red, there's Ulen, there's Ada, Halstead, and as well as the Mayville area. This is how long that squall will be there. And if you're watching with me, let me know what it's like. And we'll continue to go back and forth between our camera views and what we're seeing. But if you are in climax, it will be there shortly, about 2 or 3 minutes. In fact, it may be making its way into climax as we speak. For Thompson here down south of the Grand Forks area, by about 2:49, it'll be in your area. Reynolds very close, 2:59 for you. Now on the other side of the river here, Twin Valley 3:08, that'll be making its way in towards your neck of the woods. Notice that we're seeing this heavier, wider band of snow. So it's actually producing a wider band of snow in parts of Polk County right now as it's moving right through Beltrami, and it's heading into northern parts of Norman County at this time. Halstead about 3:16, it'll be near you. Hendrum 3:25, and Ulen by 3:31 if it does indeed continue. See a few echoes starting to form up here with the gust front making its way out of southwestern parts of Grand Forks County. We also have the Mackville area here in Nelson County, and look at that. Steele County starting to see a little bit of snow shower activity. So that is a look at the timing that you can expect this to make its way through. I'm going to leave this up here. Let me see if I can clear it off though, however, and there we go. We'll clear that off. We'll take you in, and now we're going to take a look at what's going on in the area of, let's go to Beltrami on Highway 9, since we definitely have the ability to zoom in and take a look at what's going on the cameras that we're seeing out there. And let's see, that was a wider band of snow. And look at the size of these snowflakes that we're seeing here making their way down onto the surface of Highway 9. Now you can see the visibility being reduced with this system. Look at the size of those flakes. Those are like the size of Hutch's fist. That's right. Light snow in Grand Forks right now. Nothing too bad in town anyhow. Thank you very much. Let's see. It looks like PTRHGR8. Great. So maybe Peter H. Great. Peter the Great. Something like that. Good to have you online. Thank you for your report. So this is the Highway 9 corridor as you go south. So the main event here with the heavy band of snow that is riding along this cold front boundary as it works its way, moving right now through the Beltrami area and at times creating very, very reduced visibility. Jamie, thank you. Nice warning. Nice warning, Hutch. Do better. Well, I appreciate that. This system was started and it wasn't expected to make a lot of snow, and it's not. But there was a winter weather advisory that we talked about last night, and I posted earlier today that it got expanded because of the winds that were being created with the storm and the fact that the contents of the snow was blowing around and causing icy conditions on the road. So I did try to do my best getting that information out there a little bit earlier. I'm sorry it missed you. Will it reach Breckenridge? That's a long ways away, so farther than Fargo. And could this squall ride its way down? These don't always work their way from one town to the next and march all the way through. Sometimes these bursts of snow are really confined to a particular area. So we'll just see if this one rides this boundary and the snow continues to be created along that boundary. Again, this is not blowing snow. This is an event where we have it creating snow along that boundary. Jessica, thank you. I'd love to track it usually, but as someone who's blind, your verbal explanations help a great deal. Jessica, thank you for the reminder that not everybody can visualize what it is that I'm displaying up here. And oftentimes you hear me say the word you can see, and it's not meant to distract from, well, your challenge with trying to pick up the information. So making sure that I'm verbally letting people know where this is at is important. So thanks so much. I appreciate the kind words. All right, Sonia, thank you very much for your comment. Let's see, reaching out, will it reach Breckenridge? We got to that. Let's see if we got a couple more. Okay, that's it. Brad, Hutch, is the flash freeze real or a story? Okay, good idea to talk a little bit about that chance. But to do that, we need to look at our temperatures across the region. So let me pull back up a look at this is our road conditions. We did just check the one camera, and now we'll take a look at a couple more, and then we'll get to your question, Brad. Thank you so very, very much. Here is a look at the improving conditions behind the system on Highway 2 in East Grand Forks. So that's starting to show improved visibility. But now as we go down to the south, some of the visibilities there are a little bit less than good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the snowplow cameras, and we can see they are really working hard with all these little blue icons on the screen here. They're trying to clean up the mess that this squall has laid down as it's working its way south. Now we're watching for the system to push its way into Halstead, as we talked about, Thompson, and that's basically what we're seeing. So again, closing interstates, gusts of wind, blowing snow, reducing visibility, and creating some terrible conditions on area roads. There, now let's take a look at what we have going on with regards to our radar. Pardon me, I clicked on the wrong one. So here's the radar. Now we're going to talk about the temperature and the flash freeze. So the temperatures up north of Grand Forks this morning were above freezing, and many of us enjoyed above freezing temperatures for the day today. And in fact, when we look at those high temperatures for the day, we can get a feel for what the atmosphere is going through right now. So let me get the peak temperatures or max temperatures that we've seen so far for the day today. And you'll notice that across the region here, we did have some sub-freezing high temperatures up here. Now, this is where we really could cause some blowing snow because there's freezing conditions, and it's been that way for the past couple of days, meaning the snowflakes didn't melt and glue themselves together, making it hard for them to blow around. So a lot of blowing snow up here caused problems on area road surfaces quickly. 37 in Grand Forks, your high temperature earlier. And in Fargo, the high so far today, 38 is great. And looking across northwest Minnesota, many mid-30s. Where are we sitting right now? Now, as we take a look, once again, we'll go ahead and plot the temperatures on this puppy here. So give me a second. I'll pull them up, Brad, and we'll look. Now, in the area of the cold front, it's pretty interesting to note that the temperatures are not showing a huge change in color right along that boundary, but it's 19 degrees. So any treatment on the road surface, be it sand, be it chemical mixture, magnesium chloride or other chloride, those stop functioning at about 12 degrees. So right now, they're coming out and the temperatures are dropping down to that threshold where even the treated roads are not going to be very well melted. So yeah, flash freeze is really a thing, because down to the south here, we had temperatures around 38, 37 in Grand Forks, and temperatures warmed up enough to make that, well, little film of water on the road surface. And now it's 19, and indeed, that's a problem. So that is what's helped to create the ice that's on the roads right now for those road reports that you see here. No travel advisories in parts of northeast North Dakota, as well as parts of northwest Minnesota. We have a lot of pink area roads there. Now, each state has slightly different color legends here. The pink means completely covered roads. I do not see any area where we have no travel advisories in northwest Minnesota right now, and that's the good news. But there are some icy roads out there. Now on the North Dakota map, the colors are a little bit different. Notice this, we have now an expansion in Nelson County of the no travel advisory. I'll reiterate this, Brad. It's really important that people know that these road conditions are changing hour to hour. So what you need to do is, I'm going to say, download Hutch's weather app right on your phone. You'll have access to the latest road reports from all of our regional DOTs. It's all right there on one app. One app gets you to Manitoba, Saskatchewan, North and South Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, all the way out to Wisconsin, Wyoming, as well as Colorado, all included. So now you can see the closed road in red. Anywhere you see the yellow is icy roads. The purple, snow-covered roads, at least partially or totally, and definitely with the blowing of the snow, that's what we got. Now, this is new to the North Dakota site. So this is a pro tip. on the site, if you go to it, you're going to have the ability to go ahead and open the layers on this. And I can't show you right here. It's off your screen, but that's okay. They have added snow plows to the North Dakota DOT page. So you can turn those plows on. They show up as these neat little yellow triangles, and we can jump into North Dakota plows now and show you why we are having problems keeping up. Look at all the plows. First of all, hats off to everyone out there trying to keep our roads, with the DOT crews working overtime, extra hours, and whatever it takes to keep these roads open. Right now they're closed because, well, they're so bad, they're having trouble keeping up. Let's go to Nelson County. Here's Highway 2. Here's a look at the plows there. Now, as we take a look, we can see the visibility is okay, but these roads are closed for a reason, and that's likely because of a coat of ice on area roads out there on Highway 2. Getting a little bit closer to the Grand Forks area right here as a plow I'm going to go jump in the front seat of, and now we can see that they're definitely, the road surface looks okay, but icy, yes. Flash freeze, quite likely in some spots, maybe not the entirety of the interstate or highway out there on Highway 2. Now, getting up north a little bit into Walsh County, that snow squall made its way through your neck of the woods as well, and this is what it did. That little layer of snow out there isn't so little. Look at these roads. Thanks, North Dakota DOT, for making these cameras available to all of us so we can see with our own eyes what the problems are out there. Might need to go to OK Tire and get some better tires. You know what? Those winter tires definitely make a big difference, and we're in this transitional season where you can be up against anything. Wet roads turning to icy ones very quickly. Not a bad point, and my friends at OK Tire here, a sponsor of Hutch's Weather app, a sponsor on my website, and a sponsor right here of the road conditions page. You know what? Keep them in mind for any of your automotive needs, because they do even more than tires. Love the glasses. Thanks. It helps me see. One thing I notice about doing this AA Dolan is that these texts on the monitors are sometimes very, ooh, I'm very blurry right now. The text on the monitors gets a little bit harder to read. So the farther I sit away from it. So it's good to wear my glasses sometimes. I know that the eye doctor wants me to wear them more often, but you know what? I try to force my eyes to work harder. Sometimes I just got to give in. I'm not getting younger. Jamie, thank you very much for your comment. Let's see. Oh, yep. Jamie, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, very much. And indeed, this is some blowing snow, and we call that BS here, and that's what we're talking about, this making its way through the region right now. Okay, let's get back to the radar, because it was 3 o'clock when this snow squall warning was set. Is it still snow squalling out there? So we did talk about temperatures. We talked about roads. Here you can take a look on my website or app at any road conditions, as these will be changing in real time throughout your drive time home. So keep that in mind. Now let's get back to a look at that radar, and here we go. Temperatures dropping down into those teens. Here's a look at the wind chill index, because it does not feel warm out there. We're below zero for feels like temperatures. So Belcourt all the way out towards Valhalla, and even you folks in Hallock seeing those feels like temperatures below zero out there. 2 above as you look out towards Foston. Look at the huge difference. Feels like 21 balmy degrees in Park Rapids, and that ain't so balmy. Now, if I zoom in, you can see a few other communities. So if yours isn't on the map, it's not because Hutch is trying to be mean. It's just the fact that you can only fit so many numbers on the map and still read it. So that's a look at the feels like temperatures. Right now, Fargo, whoops, I was pointing the wrong spot. 12. It feels like 12 degrees right now as we're going into the FM area. Look at your temperature in Watertown. So here is an idea of that flash freeze. If we have wet roads and it's 39 degrees, melting snow from the side of the interstate, if that stays wet and the wind does not dry the road off, as it drops down into the 20s, it starts to freeze on the road surface down there, and those problems could be making their way towards you in South Dakota, particularly near Aberdeen and the Sisseton Hills right now. Also out in Traverse County, and as we go into Wilkin County, same thing goes for you folks. Some very sticky conditions. All righty then, let's see here. Jessica, no worries, Hutch, feel free to speak in the normal verbiage you use. All right, appreciate that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. Somebody's talking about, Jamie's talking about, what is it? Manufactured. Our weather is manufactured. This is a cold front, and cold fronts cause blowy weather and sometimes snowy weather. So I wouldn't say that that would be the case. We've seen this before. We've lived in the northern plains our whole lives, and it's been snowing since the good old days when these lands were pioneered. So what we're dealing with today is explainable by the fact that we've got a cold air mass moving in. It's causing windy conditions as the pressure changes are causing the wind to blow. So, not to be argumentative, Jamie, but no, it's not manufactured. This is not something that somebody dialed up on their phone. We saw this coming on computer models for a few days, the wind that is, not expecting a lot of snow with it. And even with the squall moving through, you're not going to get a lot of snow. So thank you very much for your input. Let's see now. Let's see about the latest on the radar, and I'm going to go back and take a look at what's going on with our watches and our warnings and our advisories. The snow squall warning is in effect until 3. And let me pull up my National Weather Service link here and see if they've put out any commentary on this. Yeah, okay, so it's for the zero visibilities and the gusty winds causing blowing snow. As we take a look at this radar view that you're seeing on your screen right now, let me move out of the way here just a little bit. Now, what you're seeing is the snow is kind of parked right over Grand Forks, but it's becoming a little bit more, let's say it broken up. And down here, there's the main line as it's working its way down. So we still have a healthy line of snow produced right here, but it's starting to break up, but it's not pushing back as much to the south and to the west. So what does that mean? This cold air mass has kind of pushed its way down and it's parked right here momentarily, and it's making a little bit more of an advancement on this right side. So if it does continue, Norman County as well as Trail County having a chance to see some of the greater impacts from this as far as Hutch is concerned. We did see the big flakes making their way through Beltrami, and now as a look at this system as it works its way towards Shelley, Halstead, Ada, and Gary, Minnesota, seeing the snow squall making its way through. So now it's 3 o'clock and the snow squall warning has been allowed to expire. That's what's going on. So will the snow squall make it down to Fargo? It could intensify again. We have some very gusty winds along this cold front, and ahead of it, we're seeing some snow showers kick up, and they're briefly reducing visibilities to, less than optimal. We'll just put that. And in fact, it's well under 1/4 of a mile. So now let's take a quick look at what we have going on in Minnesota. Again, taking you in a little bit closer, we could see that we have essentially the snow squall warning we just showed you. It just disappeared. That means it has been allowed to expire. We do have pink roads completely covered. Looking in Beltrami as the squall is now exiting the area, there is a coat of ice you can kind of see on the road. We still have very large flakes. As of 2:46 was the last time this photo was taken. So that was as the squall was moving through. So as soon as these pictures are updated here just a little bit later down the road, we'll get a better picture of what they're leaving behind. It's not quite to Hendrum yet, as you can see here on the Hendrum photo. And as we look out towards Crookston and out towards the Highway 2 corridor there near Fisher, we are seeing an improvement to the visibility for many areas. But you see these little areas of lofted snow, definitely some problems going on there as we head into the afternoon drive, and that's going to continue. So we will have brief areas of problems. And by the way, on the Minnesota page, see all these purple asterisks? Those are crashes. So that tells me with regards to the temperatures that we have on road surfaces, they're causing crashes on roads that show up as green. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Green doesn't mean good road conditions. Green means seasonal road conditions. So essentially what we're talking about here is seasonal road conditions have become icy, and we've got some ice crashes. We've got debris on the roadway reported on a lot of these. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of debris we got on the roadway. These are not crashes. It says debris on the roadway. So whether it's tree branches or the gusts were ridiculous up and in and around Lake Itasca, out near Walker, and out near the Bemidji area. Let's see if we can see anything from these DOT reports here and camera views. So obviously there's still sun shining, so the debris on the roadway must be from winds. So we've got a lot of areas where we've got debris reported on the roadway in Minnesota. Same thing goes here, more debris on the roadway. This is south of McGregor, so as we take you in on Highway 65, again, probably tree branches or other debris being blown onto the road surface by our very gusty winds. Now, let Hutch take a look at that forecast here, and then we'll wrap up this update. Thank you so much for liking the video. I see a lot of people putting a like. I'll go ahead and put a thing here as, there we go. So you can tag friends like I just did, top fans. So thank you for watching, everybody, and let you know that we're going to watch this. I'm going to go over the forecast right now. Tina says, let's see. Hope all the kids going to Grand Forks for state robotics tomorrow morning have safe travels. It might not be fun traveling. There will be the icy spots. It's going to be very cold. It's going to be cold. And there will be icy spots, but our road crews will likely not have to deal with, and the wind will not be a problem into tomorrow. It may be a problem for other areas where we're going to see some snow making its way through. Not sure why my camera keeps refocusing here. I'm not moving that much, but let me go ahead and pull up the hour-by-hour forecast. Here we go. We're going to look at a model or two. Why am I showing more than one model? Because we're looking at this together. Okay, so these are new models that are just coming in. Let's see if this latest run picks up anything to do with the snow squall. Notice this, as we look in our area, there's no snow squall showing up. So we're doing the best that we can, but the snow squalls that just formed in a small area, we showed it to you on the visible satellite imagery. There is this narrow band of white moving across the white snowy fields. So we're able to detect it there. Let me look at another model, and let's see if this one picked up the snow squall. It's loading. It's still loading. Okay, no snow squall picked up here, just gusty winds, isobars close together. There are a couple areas of some snowy bands that might be making their way through in central Minnesota, but this model also not showing it. And also, as we take a look, we see that tonight by 5 to 7, snow develops along the cold front's boundary where it parks right here, and a new low pressure system moves out and enhances the snowfall potential. Montana, Southwest North Dakota look to be picking up a decent band of snow as this works its way through. And now this model shows widespread snow, big time change from what we saw yesterday. But the heavier, more accumulating snow will be from Bismarck, Southwest and South Central North Dakota, right into northeastern South Dakota here. So the Southern Valley, notice the darker blue shades here. Better chance at more accumulations there, but we may have a little bit more in the forecast for you here as we look through according to this model. Now, this model that I just showed is not the one that has been doing the greatest with these storm systems throughout the winter. So I am going to sneak over and look at a model here that shows me one that has been doing a better job of tracking. And it also is showing that near the low pressure center here, we get a more broad area of lift, and there is a more healthy band of snow. As we start Saturday morning at 6 a.m., the Sisseton Hills all the way down to Watertown, we're talking Jamestown to Bismarck getting snow. Watch this puppy as it works its way through. The track and trajectory of this will take it very close to Fargo, so it could clip Fargo with some snowfall potential as we go through. I like this model. Now we'll take one more look at the European model. Why am I doing that? Just to see the track more so than the amount. This is a lower resolution model. It's keeping the heavier band of snow well to the south of our neck of the woods. And now one more model here is the Canadian that has been doing a pretty decent job. And this one will show me boom, 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 mainly south of Fargo until we get into the morning hours tomorrow, and we could get a dose of some light snow. So from Jamestown to Fargo and points south on I-94 and all points west from Bismarck into the oil patch near Williston, some accumulating snow is going to be possible. And now we're going to do a model comparison You're actually watching Hutch do some forecasting here while we're talking. So let's go ahead and go over that right now. Snow forecast time. I'm going to wave because here we go. Let's talk about it. Let's compare models, and that's what I'm going to do here. Pardon me while I load this up in real time. Now, that's a big old USA view. Let's go ahead and take this in just a little bit closer to the northern plains. And as we look into our neck of the woods here, we're going to compare how much snow will be on the ground in about 36 hours from now. So let me see. This will be valid by Saturday night. So here's the band of snow on Model 1. This is the American Long Range Forecast model, and it shows a heavier band down south central North Dakota in toward the Sisseton Hills, Aberdeen, Britain, all the way south of Victor and on in towards the Sisseton Hills and mainly north of Watertown. Look at that band of snow. That's pretty heavy. Here's a look at a Canadian model. That's pretty heavy. 7 inches or more. Do you think that'll happen, Hutch? I'll expand on that in a second. Here's another model, another Canadian model, and it too is popping up 9 inches of heavy snow down in parts of southern Minnesota, northeast South Dakota, and lighter amounts in southwest parts of North Dakota where they really could use the moisture. Here is a look at American high resolution model. Boom, slips it up north into Fargo here. A couple of the American models did do that. Now it's lobbed back down to the south again here on this model. This matches up. I would say 3/4 of the model are picking a slightly more southern track, and a couple of them have popped it up into the Fargo area. Taking a look at this one, it does look like this model here. Also, this is the one I just showed you the animation of, keeping most of the heavier band of snow down to the far south into the South Dakota border counties, but still definitely measurable and maybe even snow blowable. How much wind will be coming with this snow? There'll be enough. There'll be a southeast wind. Here's another, guess it, American model showing that band of 3 to 5 inches making its way into the Fargo area. That makes a couple of models that have done that high. Here's a German model showing most of it down south. So my consensus, along with the models that I've trusted that have done a better job, this is where your meteorologist comes in handy, is that I think the best chance at accumulating snow will be right along from the oil patch right through Dickinson to Bismarck and south all the way through Kidder County. I'm not kidding. We're going to have some snow there. Ashley, Wishick, Napoleon, on down towards Dickey and Lemoore counties. So Ellendale, Oaks, Gwinner, Lisbon, you could be in a better chance at seeing some appreciable snow from this system. And by appreciable, I mean that 1 to 3 inch. So I'll pull up my forecast and I'll stick with this forecast for now. And I may update it just a wee bit here as we go through. So we'll have a narrow band of 1 to 3 inches of snow, but isolated places get the plus sign. I've got up to 5 inches. We might have to up that a little bit for southern Minnesota with a little look at some of the newer information coming in here. We might see a pocket of up to 7. So what does this mean? Hutch looked at with you several models. I get a trend. More models are leaning toward a track like this. This was my forecast last night. I think this is a solid forecast. We might have to expand the area. You see the gray here. Now, this says Fargo getting about 1/10 of an inch. I think 1/10 to an inch seems to be highly probable for the Fargo area. And then it increases the chances of seeing more measurable snow as you go down to the South Dakota border into southern parts of Minnesota. And it says Wanda. Wanda says, wow, a lot, South Logan County get a lot of snow. I'll give that a heads up. To the hubby. I got you. A little bit of snow. Yeah, you get into Emmons County here, Logan and McIntosh counties, and there will be some snow. How about Corson County down there in South Dakota? You Mobridge folks will be very close to that heavier band of snow, the way it looks to old Hutcherooski here. So that's a look at your forecast. And I'm going to refrain from some of the verbiage used there, Wanda, but thank you very much for making me smile. Now, a look at our latest on the snow squall, since that is the reason for this live update. It has, the warning for the snow squall has dropped. The snow squall has parked and is persistent now for the last 15 minutes in about the same spot, meaning it's not making its way farther south right now. We were able to pick out this snow squall on the visible satellite imagery. Watch, 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 watch. Right here. Boom. There it is right there. Moving south, 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 right through Grand Forks, and it parks right there. Now, there's another little band making its way down here. Why aren't we seeing that on the radar? Right here, picking up. Yeah, right there, that little band south of Fargo. Is that snow? Likely it is. It's a narrow band of snow making its way through along Remember, I said this would be a two-wave cold front moving through. We got one cold front all the way down here, and this secondary push or surge of cold air that you saw is bringing temperatures into the teens, working its way southward. This little band of snow out here is a shallow band of clouds, and it's well south of the radar. So maybe the radar is overshooting it. I'm not seeing anything here on the radar, but I am going to go to a higher resolution radar now and see if I can pick it up, because I'm going to shift to the, well, we'll shift to the Aberdeen radar and see if it's showing it. But still, it's quite a ways away from the radar there even. So here we go. Let's see. There it is. Okay, so now Aberdeen radar, looking at the data here, and I'm not seeing any evidence of a band of snow. So these radar beams go up at an elevation angle, and they can sometimes shoot over the top of those narrow clouds that we saw, or shallow clouds that we saw making their way through places like Fargo and Grand Forks right now. Here's a look at the Mayville radar. You can see the radar site is here, and the snow is very, very, very evident on the radar, but it's close to the radar, so the radar is not overshooting it. And that's one of the reasons why this snow squall, as it made its way through places like Cavalier, we started hearing of the roads closed, and it's very slippery, no travel advisories. That's a hint that things were getting pretty bad along that leading edge of that snow squall warning. So indeed, we had a snow squall make its way basically through the Grand Forks area, through Crookston. It's now working its way through, but slowing down. It's moved out of Beltrami and towards Climax. It still could not continue nuzzling its way southward as it makes its way down through the valley. If it does pick up, I'll be back to update you. But for now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Let me see if anybody else has a question. Is the radar overshooting these snow squalls? Brad, thank you for the question. We just talked about it, and indeed, you've got a knack for this stuff. You maybe have that meteorologist in your blood. The map looks clear, but I-29, zero visibility, whiteout, is the worst of this storm actually happening under the radar beam. And right now, no, this is one of the worst spots, but we just detected using visible satellite imagery that next band that's down to the south here. And that might be that main cold front coming down, moving through Grand Forks. We got a remnant right here, that little remnant area of snow here, but then there's another one starting to fire up right here. Watch it. Okay, so here we go. South of Fargo and another one along the border. What does a meteorologist have? With the radar, we've checked, we can't see it. Let's go to the DOT pages in South Dakota and North Dakota, and let's see if we can see if that's making a neat little zero visibility area. Number one, as we look down to the south, we don't have no travel advisories down there, but we're interested more in the camera views of the situation going on. So with that satellite view showing that it was just south and east of Fargo, notice I don't have a lot of cameras here, and I'll turn on the snowplow cams and see, but we don't have a lot of activity here. They are moving in Barnes County right now, so let's see. Is this little narrow band producing anything? Maybe our best bet is looking in and around this area here. Okay, so now we're going to look around Verona, my Verona. Okay, let's see what we got. Very clear roads. Almost no snow left on the side. Temperatures down there, we're dropping down into the 20s right now, but the roads are not wet, they are dry. That's a good sign. And I'm not seeing any evidence of any blowing snow there. Let's get right in the seat of this snowplow on I-94 near Valley City. Whoop, there's the Valley City sign for the exit in 1 mile. No snow squall there. Look off in the distance, and we are seeing the clouds that we're talking about that the radar may or may not be missing some of the activity. Brad, you can see why it gets a little bit difficult to track some of these systems like this with the grid of data we have available. I have one more stop on the ability to see, and that's from my friends at the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. They have a few more cameras down here, but you notice right where we saw that narrow band of clouds, there was one down here right on the border. Let's go to those cameras and let's see what we can see. I like to see what I can see, especially with my glasses on. That way I can see gooder. All right, here is Sonora. Okay, right here we're seeing what looks like wet and freezing over fields, but no view there. Looking to the west now, looking to the west. I'm not seeing a view of the clouds. The timestamp on this is 3:13, so just 3 minutes ago. That's about as real time as we can get. Let's go to Morton out here on the exit. We see a little bit more snow on the side of the road. This is looking east The clouds are to the west, so I can't turn the camera, and that's where it's looking. So now let's take a look here. Milner. Okay, this is looking southeast. Again, not the direction that we want to look for to see if we're seeing that snow squall out there. But again, we can certainly see snow-free fields, sun warming this ground, the dark color of it, absorbing that sun's energy. It stays warmer longer. Your temperatures will have no problem recovering once we get into the late week. Sturm, let's see which way we're looking here. East. See this little narrow band to the east of Sturm out there? Is that the band we're seeing on the satellite? It very well could be. Now we're going to go out east just a little farther. Here's Marion. And as we take a look, you're looking south and west. That's kind of the wrong direction to see the clouds, but we do have some clouds out there. Look at the bare earth. Great way to see what the fields actually look like in some of our remote locations. Here's Wolverton. Aha! Looking west. We see them now. Okay, so from Wolverton, this is what those kind of clouds will look like. And you see that this cloud is only about this tall. It's not very high in the atmosphere, not like one of those thunderstorm clouds we see in the summer. So this could be producing snowflakes inside of it with temperatures as cold as they are. And if it does, as it's rolling its way through, it could sneak underneath the radar beam and actually cause a snow squall in an area a little later. So this is actually what we are seeing on the radar are these clouds. Remember, radar beams pick up precipitation-sized droplets or snowflakes. So it's seeing cloud droplets that are grouping together and making bigger raindrops, and that's what it's seeing, or ice crystals in the clouds. Doesn't mean that they're falling down to the ground, and this image here says it all. Nope, there's nothing falling out of that band of clouds. Again, you're looking 2 miles east of Wolverton. That's where the camera is located, and we are looking west. And as the radar goes, and as that visible satellite imagery showed, that's the area where we're kind of looking to see, are these clouds producing a snow squall, or could they? They're dark, meaning that they're optically thick. That means that there's a lot of water vapor and, water droplets, cloud droplets in it, and making them optically thick. Here it is, started out near Fargo, and now here's Wolverton, and we're looking off to the west, and that's what we're seeing. So we're seeing these little bands of clouds making their way through right now, and could they produce a snow squall or not? Not showing up on the radar yet. And that's a critical factor. But again, Mayville's radar is way up here. Those are a long ways away. The beam is likely shooting over the top of them. Not seeing any evidence on the radar at all. Aberdeen is way over here, so it too. So these cloud streams right here are in radar no man's land. Could they make a snow squall? It's possible. That's what this one is. If we'll track it down from Canada again. Here it comes. Boom, right there. No way without radar returns to tell that that was a snow squall until it started squalling and it started blowing and it started snowing. Thanks everybody for all the hearts. I really appreciate you. I'm going to throw some hearts on here and say thank you. Nathan, good to have you on board. Drake says, do we know when the wind will die down this weekend, or will it be pretty steady? Let's go to the maps. Great question. Or you can go to Hutch's weather app and answer the question as well. The winds out west are certainly going to start dying down tonight, but with this next weather wiggle you see making its way in here, this is an area of clouds, snow falling in eastern Montana from the Glasgow area in towards Wolf Point and point south toward the oil patch, Sydney, and on towards the Glendive area. Now that's going to make its way through. That system is going to come with easterly winds, so our southern counties will have a pretty stout easterly wind. Let me know where you're asking from, Drake, with regards to that, because we're going to have variable wind speeds across our region. High pressure moves in here, keeping us with lighter winds after the system moves. The strongest winds associated with this storm moving through will remain in central and eastern Minnesota all the way into the morning hours tomorrow based on the forecast models that we just saw. So here we go, back to the weather maps we go. Let me know your, Drake, let me know your spot in the map here and let me know so I can give you an educated estimate on when the winds die down in your neck of the woods. I got to pull up a model that goes out 24 hours and I'll show you. What we're watching here, isobars close together. When they're close together, that's gusty winds, and those gusty winds continue to bring us, well, a lot of follicular damage to the hair follicles and blowing snow. So Winds will be strongest from the Red River and points east. Notice how these isobars are farther apart out in parts of North Dakota. The winds will be decreasing. And look at this, northeast Montana, Poplar, Wolf Point, Culbertson, all your way in towards Williston. Almost no wind. It'll be from the north, though, and it'll be a little bit, look at this, it starts increasing out there from the east. So you'll be seeing easterly winds increasing tonight as this next wave of snow gets put through. Now, we're talking about dinner hour tonight. Excuse me. Still pretty breezy in the Red River Valley. We're talking 20 to maybe 30 mile per hour gusts. Off to the east, though, for you in Fergus Falls, those gusts for the dinner hour tonight could still be upwards of 40 to 50 miles per hour. Same thing goes for Brainerd. Same thing goes for Bemidji. Same thing goes for the Lake of the Woods area up here and on into Roseau County. Still very gusty as we work our way through. All right, I got a question for a recap. So we will recap what's going on here as soon as I get through answering this question. When will the wind die down? Minnesota sees the winds gusting over 40 miles per hour. And finally, as we get towards about 7 o'clock tonight, then it starts, the isobars start getting wider apart. That means our wind starts dying. Cold high pressure moves in and it's going to be cold compared to what we had today. Here's your snow starting out to the west. I think this is too far north of a track right now. That's my gut instinct based on many models that we just looked at. But notice this, as we go into tomorrow morning, here is about 6 a.m. Very quiet winds across Minnesota and what looks like widespread snow. I think this is too far to the north. I'm going to switch to a model that I like here. Let's go to this model. It's usually doing a better job. So this is the morning time frame. Light winds, but not zero. North winds at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. A few gusts up to 20 miles per hour on your Saturday morning. Driving back and forth up here, we will have slippery roads that will continue, but our crews are out there working. You saw all the plows out there. And as we look here, morning conditions in the oil patch, we're talking Sydney, we're talking Wolf Point, all the way down in towards the south central part of North Dakota, a chance for some accumulating snow to start the day. This will continue to push down into southern Minnesota where it could get very heavy. See all the dark blue here? Notice the isobars getting close together. That's an east wind. Very strong winds down here towards Buffalo, South Dakota. Buffalo, South Dakota, Lemon, South Dakota, Hettinger. You folks out here in Marmarth is going to have some terribly, terribly windy conditions. Look at how close those isobars out there, Baker, Montana. I think I would not wear the cowboy hat outside in weather like that. You got to just put that puppy off to the side and get a stocking cap. Okay, then take a look at that snowfall making its way through. Light winds as we go into the morning hours. What about the rest of our day? Lighter winds until we get a little closer to the low pressure center down here. These will be very gusty winds in the Black Hills. They'll have the wind down here on the I-29 corridor. With the snow falling, not as much wind here. Maybe 15 to 20 mile per hour. That's it. I hope that answers your question. Thank you for your question. I do appreciate it. As this cold air makes its way down and that system exits, the wind is going to be gusty along the I-90 corridor all day Saturday. And the wind, done. It's over. It's through. I guess that's a Herb Brooks thing. I watched Miracle again the other night. I'm sorry. It's just a movie I can't stay away from this time of the year. All right. Now, the wind will be strong in South Dakota, quiet winds heading into your Sunday. When an H moves over your area this time of the year, particularly with a high number here, like a 1040 or a 1050, that's a cold high pressure system. So this dome of cold air is going to sit right over us for Sunday morning. It will likely be the coldest weather that we have in the area. And then let the warm up begin. Okay, Brad, you asked for a consensus and a recap of what's going on. For all of you who have joined, thank you for joining. Make sure you like and follow if this is the first time seeing Hutch. I would truly be honored to have you click the follow button on my Facebook page. If you're watching on YouTube channel, I appreciate everyone who hits the subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the notification button so you get notifications of when Hutch is going live. Thanks for watching, and thank you very much for subscribing and following. Now, on to what's going on. We've had a snow squall warning today. We haven't had a lot of them. What is a snow squall? A snow squall is when we have a sharp brief period of gusty winds and near zero visibility thanks to heavy snow and those winds. And that's what moved over the area as we went into the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock time frame. Here is that snow squall now. It's no longer defined as a squall because it's basically parked right here. We have a band of snow that's parked right here, Norman County, through western Polk County, and right through the Grand Forks area. This was racing southward. We tracked it on the satellite, but you really couldn't see it on the radar until it got a little bit closer to Grand Forks when they issued the snow squall warning. But this did wreak havoc on area roads. We saw the thick layer of ice laid down by the snow, new snow, and the winds that caused, our tires on our cars to compress snow blowing over the road right onto the road surface. So no travel is advised. Interstate 29 is closed from Grand Forks all the way to Winnipeg. So it's closed in Canada and it's closed in both directions between the international border and Grand Forks, and actually from Winnipeg to Grand Forks, both directions. No travel advisories in and around Cavalier, Walsh County, Grand Forks County, and now Nelson County, all in no travel advisories. I'm watching a little band of data that we're seeing on the satellite view. The satellite was able to pick up the clouds that produce this snow squall before the radar could because of the shallow nature of the clouds. So we came on board because of a snow squall warning. Not only that, we have some mighty cold temperatures punching their way in, and it's not a precipitous drop right away. This looks like gusts. What's going on here? It's 57. Okay, here we go. So temperatures are in the teens right now. Once we hit 12 degrees, many of the road chemicals that they use won't work anymore. So we got some snow and some ice on the roads, and it's going to stay that way until they get scraped clean and we can get some sun on them, and that should help dry them off a little bit thanks to how they construct roads these days. So very slippery conditions up in the Northern Valley. Temperatures are on their way down. Hutch said the high would be somewhere around 36 around midday and then falling down towards 33 at the 3 o'clock hour and into the 20s. Well, it's even colder than I expected sooner. So yes, it's cold. We're holding on to 37, Oaks. Look at that, 39 as you go down towards Wheaton and on towards Britain, South Dakota. Aberdeen's 43 degrees and caking on the sunscreen, right? Well, maybe not, but still, it's 41 in Alexandria. So big time changes are on the way. North winds are gusting. We've showed you the gusts, a quick review of that. We have gusts that have exceeded 50 miles per hour today, and those high gusts have hit the northern reaches of Stutsman County. Here it is. I'm trying to pull it back up. So these are gusts right now. Gusts are around 40 miles per hour in Kitson County. Roseau County, seeing them subside a bit, 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts. Grand Forks, 25 mile per hour gusts right now, currently. And as we look down into the Southern Valley, some of them 40 mile per hour gusts are reaching down into Grant County. For you folks in Elbow Lake and Herman, we're seeing it down in the Wilkin County area here. So Wheaton, you're seeing some of this, as is Traverse County. Big Stone County, not yet. So the gust is pushing its way down. Remember, those clouds we're seeing on the satellite down here could produce a brief area of snow if it ever makes its mind up. And gusts now 39 miles per hour in northeast Stutsman County up there as we look up into the north reaches of Stutsman County. So now that's those are the peak gusts. So look at this, 50 mile per hour up in and around the Langdon and Walhalla area. Going out towards Rolla, 41 mile per hour gusts, near 50 mile per hour gusts in and just off to the west of Devil's Lake today. Those flourished. Look at this, almost 60 mile per hour gusts for you folks in the New Rockford area, straight south into northern parts of Stutsman County, northern Barnes County. That's the cold front made its way down there. That did kick off some clouds that are now running down into the Southern Valley right now. And again, those clouds can create along a front an area of some snow showers. They're a long ways from the radar site, and the radars here in Aberdeen and in Mayville may overshoot those snow producing clouds. So be aware. In southeast North Dakota, we could see an area of developing snow. Thank you very much. I hope that's a good review of what's going on right now. As we take a look at our high temperatures earlier today, we started out in Fargo, seeing the driveways melt. 38 is great, 37 Grand Forks, 34 in Mayville, so not far from you folks in Pennington County and Thief River. We had mid-30s for you. 40s across most of Stutsman County. You saw Grant County there, and we still have 40s as you look down near the border, but it's a changing. And the temperatures now are on their way down. 37 Grand Forks, 41 Bismarck, Mandan, and out to the west, Sydney, Montana with 45. Hey, Feisty, let's see what you got here for your question. I like how when you turn your head, we can see the green screen through your glasses. Wow. Another reason to stay glasses free. Wow, Feisty, you're picking up on stuff I didn't even know. All right, maybe I need them blinders. That work? Yo, those, we used to call them glacier glasses. So when you go skiing, it blocks the light from coming in on the side. Lots of cars, trucks, and semis hitting the ditch here in Marshall County. Thank you very much for your report there, Lake of Fire. And also, if you don't watch Hutch, you'll probably get stuck in a rut. That should be a promo. Thanks so much, Lake of Fire. That's what's going on right now. Gusty winds continuing through the valley and working their way through. Right now, 19 in the Grand Forks area for your current temperature. And now a quick another look at that radar. I'm going to put this back up so we can see. And I will show you the watches, warnings, and advisories in the area. So a stuck band of snow kind of parking right here in Polk County, Grand Forks County, and sneaking into Norman County right now. We're not seeing any snow falling out of that narrow band of clouds we're seeing here in southeast North Dakota, but that is along a part of the cold front that's making its way through. Could it happen? You betcha, as we say. Temperatures are falling, and we're keeping our eyes on that. Look at what's going on out to the west, Glasgow, Montana on Highway 2. Here's that next band of snow that's going to rock its way through as we go through the overnight hours into tomorrow. Best chance of that is going to be working its way right into you folks in southwest North Dakota. Dickinson, a chance for some snow for you. Let's see what we got here. I have my snow forecast right here. Here it is. Okay, so Williston, Sydney, Montana, right down through the Bismarck, Mandan area on into Mobridge. A pretty wide band here of 1 to 3 inches of snow. Isolated places will see more. 5 inches is what it looked like earlier, but I'm thinking some of the models are showing right here across the I-29 corridor, north of Watertown, south of Sisseton. We could see a narrow band of upwards of 5 to 7 inches of snow working its way all the way south of the Twin Cities. Could clip parts of northern and central Iowa as well with that snow band. So that's a quick look at your forecast, and I would be remiss if I didn't go over the 7-day planner, because behind me is a whole bunch of orange. And yeah, I'm a Bronco fan, so I'll take that to heart. And I like blue and orange, but blue, cool weather. In fact, downright cold weather, as we see temperatures falling today down to 2 degrees overnight here in Fargo, 7 the high tomorrow. Chance of snow south and mainly west of Fargo, and then it moves south and east of us into southern Minnesota throughout the day. Coldest air on Sunday with the H, or high pressure system, moving right over our heads, but the warm-up begins in the afternoon and late hours. Thank you, Brad, so very, very much for sharing a contribution on Hutch's weather page, and I appreciate that very, very much. Look at this. After that, we get to the orange side, and now let's see if I cover my glasses up so I don't show my green screen and all my magic smoke and mirrors here in my studio. There we go. 37 on Monday as things start going back in the milder direction. And look at these temperatures here. Shazam. Okay. Look at that. We're going to kiss 50 degrees in Fargo. And if you're in places like Ellendale, Oaks, if you're in Richland County out there near Wyndmere, if you're down in the Lisbon area, if you're down into Wishick area where the ground is free, Verona, my Verona, those areas, you're going to see 50s as we go into Thursday, the way it looks to Hutch. But pay attention to Hutch's bottom line. Always worth the read. You know why? Because even though we have near 50-degree weather, we're not done. Even though spring meteorologically starts, near the 8th and near the 10th, we have a chance for some winter weather events. Now, on last night's live, I covered that in its entirety. It's something I'm watching right now because our models that far out aren't very good at specifics, but they can show pattern changes. So as we dial in a little bit closer to that, there'll be a chance at seeing some, well, let's just call it nasty weather making its way in. Here is a look at the most recent European model now, and we'll look at this together because this is what it's all about here on Hutch's Weather. We'll do the weather together. All right. So as we go into the month, there looks like a little weather wiggle wobbling through southern parts of Minnesota and Iowa. Here we go. One little system as we go through the 5th makes its way through, and boom, now it's on the 5th and 6th. We have a little system working its way into the region. Low pressure parks here, and it takes a day for it to move through, so a band of snow possible there. And now we see the one on the 8th is a goner. I don't see it anymore. Here it comes. South winds, thunderstorms aplenty, severe weather in the southern plains. Here's the 10th. Where's this puppy going? Low pressure parks right here. Heavy rain. Now, do we have to worry about flooding with this? Well, not all that likely. We don't have a ton of snow on the ground, so that's going to make a huge difference, okay? This isn't one of these winters where we have 90 inches of snow on the ground for this rain to melt. So keep that in mind. Will the rivers start rising if we get heavy rain? It's possible. Uh-oh, that rain turns awful white as we go into the 10th. So the European model still holding on to a stout storm system, a Colorado low type storm system, bringing wind, rain, mix, and snow. Far too complex of a system to get into the intricacies of the exact location of the track. I'm watching it. I'll keep my eyes on it. More than one model is showing it. And there's another system coming through that was on the 8th that now looks like it's moving through on the 6th. So I'll keep you posted as we go through. We get through our first week of nice warm weather in the month of March. Comes in like a lamb. And then after that, whoo, look out. We got a couple of wet spring-like storm systems possibly moving through. How much snow for Kidder County? FJ, for today, or actually for the Saturday system, I'll go right back to my snowfall map here. So Saturday, we're talking tomorrow. By the time we get to the midday hours and afternoon, here's Kidder County. You're on the I-94 corridor here. As you get in the southern part of the county, like Steele and point south, a better chance at some accumulations. It looks like 1 to 3 as a rule, with a greater chance of, say, 1 to 2. South of you, as you get into the Emmons County area, so Napoleon, Hazleton, Moffett, Braddock, Streeter, all these areas, even down near Cullum and Gackle, we're talking about that isolated areas of, say, 2 to 3 plus. There'll be pockets that get up to 5 inches of snow here in North Dakota. Some models are advertising upwards of 7 inches of snow possible in southern Minnesota. I will update that a little later. And I hope that's caught everybody up. Thanks for your questions. Thank you so very, very much for watching. I'll have the very latest and a look at the latest watches and warnings I promised you look like this. So here, let me pull this up for you. So we take a look at this. Where is it? Oh, that ain't it. There it is. Okay. So what we have across our area, winter weather advisory is in effect in these blue counties that you see in northern parts of the valley. That's for tonight. That's what's going on right now. The wind, the snow, the icy roads, no travel advisories, closed Interstate 29. This is for the system that's now making its way into Glasgow, Montana, and is going to be working its way out to the west, where we really need the moisture. Notice that we've got counties now filled in. Fargo is not filled in into the winter weather advisory. So that means the Weather Service and what we just looked at together, multiple model runs showing the better chance of accumulating snow south of Fargo, is on point with what the Weather Service is seeing as well. So from Valley City to Jamestown to, I'm not kidding, Kidder County, you're going to have a chance for some accumulating snow. Even heavier snow could impact this area here. There looks like there could be very stout winds down here as you get into the Lake Oahe area, Mobridge and point south. So keep that in mind, that there's going to be some very strong winds gusting through here and the Black Hills as this event unfolds. Now, look at the Twin Cities and point south. If you're traveling this weekend in that general direction, the southern metro area down towards Gaylord, Mankato, New Ulm, Rochester, Austin, a band of snow. Right now it's a winter weather advisory. I am seeing some hints that this could be heavy snow in a few areas. The National Weather Service in Chanhassen, Minnesota says, let me pull this over so we can look at it together, that according to what they are seeing here, the winter weather advisory is for 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, and they're calling for snowfall amounts that could exceed, I'm looking for it, what? Snow, 2 to 4 inches, locally higher amounts. So if we get close to 5 to 7, with any, it doesn't look like a ton of wind. We could have some east winds gusting with this system upwards of 25 or maybe 30 miles per hour, but it could cause some areas to get heavy snow, upwards of 7 inches. So we'll keep you posted on that, and I'll have a update coming up here in a bit. But for now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Again, you got 2 days worth of events showing up here. We've got the wind advisory, that's for today. We've got the winter weather advisory, that's for today. This disappears, boom, we get cold, and boom, this is the next wave, starting right now in Montana as we look out towards Glasgow. Hey, Glasgow. Hey, neighbors. Hey, relatives out in Montana. Here's what's going on for you. Not neglecting you. You've got this next system working its way in. Let's see what it's producing right now. Again, the wind is not expected to be as strong. 22 degrees north of Glasgow. The radar is picking up snow that is not making its way down to the ground yet near Glasgow and north of Glasgow, but it's seeing the snowflakes in the clouds high above. You can see that there's these little fall streaks of snow below the cloud, and as the lower atmosphere saturates with moisture, temperatures drop, we will start seeing snow settle into some of these areas. Looking up in the upper Missouri River Basin, we can see thicker clouds. They're darker gray. These have a lot more optical depth is what we call it. So a little bit more water content in those clouds blocking more sun. So that's what we're seeing. Let's go way up north here by Plentywood and see if there's any flakes flying there. I'm not seeing it yet. In fact, the skies are still clear as this system is just now getting organized. So that's what's going on across our area. A storm making its way out of Montana through southwest North Dakota, central and northern South Dakota. The southern Red River Valley could see some snow out of the system as well as it works its way through. Here's one last look at that system as I wave goodbye and bid you adieu. I think that I have a look at this system. My apologies there. Here we go. So there's the track of the system that we're expecting. I do have the snowfall forecast that I've been showing throughout this for that next wave that's coming, and not associated with the wave you're seeing tonight, that looks like this. 1 to 3 inches for the areas you see in blue, lower amounts on either side. The way it looks now, tracking through places like Bismarck, tracking through the Twin Buttes area, as well as out into toward Williston, Sydney, Montana, all the way out towards Glasgow. Areas south of Bismarck, look out here if you're down in Wishick and Ashley and points south. Verona and Gwinner, you have a better chance at seeing some appreciable snow with this, as does you folks in the Lisbon area and Hankinson and the Wyndmere areas. Grant County, a chance to be in that, as well as extreme southern Otter Tail County. Maybe a little bit of shovel trouble for you. I'll be back, but for now, this has been a weather update from meteorologist Hutch Johnson. And if things unfold and deteriorate, I'll be back. Have my weather app handy. Thanks for downloading it today. Thanks for your likes, your follows, and stay safe.